Hello, fellow exiles. I just wanted to talk about some of the lighting aspects of Path of Exile 2 and how to manipulate them for hideout decorations and whatnot. Um, I am the creator of Red Queen's Memory, was the top hideout downloaded during the zero point 0.5 league on release with over 10,000 downloads, and it won gratefully the Mobalytics hideout competition against a very stiff competition, which I'm totally humbled by. Those were amazing projects. Anyway, I wanted to share with you some of the things I've been experimenting with and how to create them yourself. Um, we have just a couple examples here. Most of these are going to be based around the Oriath um, tile set because the lighting aspects reflect almost perfectly off the marble white. I think this might be an artifact of their importation from PoE 1, but I think these are extremely useful in reflecting and refracting light back in on itself in order to create brighter aspects, such as the second fountain here, with multiple lighting sources. Um, these four included. You can grade it with single implementations here, or you can break it with things like the well. Um, when because I am not missing any resources, the well is dimly lit. It has a lighter mode that you can control yourself via missing resources, reserving resources, or constantly draining resources, such as your life, mana, or flasks. One of these is available directly on Lich Ascendancy. You can manipulate this with others, such as Gemling, but for simplicity's sake, we're just going to use Lich. We're going to take Necromantic Conduit, and it says here lose 5% of your maximum mana per second. Now, this, even if you are at 100% mana, the 817 out of 817, it will still consider you missing some amount of resource, and it will activate the pool or the well, and you can literally break the lighting element in the game because it's refracting over and over and over again on the same surface. Now we can add more to it, and we can shift them around within the fountain here, in order to create certain grades of lighting. We can intensify it. We can do all kinds of things here, but mainly this is an active, like a self-activated mode. When you cast something, your well will flicker, and this will permanently maintain that aspect of lighting for your hideout. Now, one of the things that you should be aware of with these fountains is that they have a central pillar, and it will affect the final result if you over, like, there it is right there. You can see a line right there in the back that's creating a shadow. If you take it over the top, it hides the light itself, will hide the shadow. It's actually right here right now. You can't see it because it's so oversaturated. If I take it over here, you can actually manipulate this and drag it around and rotate it around the center pillar and get that to appear. But again, you can really break it like that, but I highly recommend you keep it at a single set of the Summit Brazier 3 and Marquette Firepot. Now, I have other hideouts where I still place firepots around the center to create a different effect. That's completely fine as long as you keep it outside of this center well of of the fountain, this pool here. If you keep it out, the refraction, much like a headlight on a car, will not enter this section, and you can create aspect lighting within the pool. Another way we can manipulate, excuse me, the Oriath marble is with these round flat tables. you can create a sunflower soft spot within the pool for a different tone of lighting completely. Um, and have this within, I think there's two separate wells that will light up here. The hand drawn well of the first one, the default, uh, will appear to refract, but you kind of have to mask the rope shadow. And there's different ways to do that, but you're going to have overlapping textures in the most part, but you can build things around this, such as there's several medium rock elements options that you could pick from. 3 gives you the nice little lip here that appears over your flat surfaces, including this well. It'll actually cover the edge mounts almost perfectly, but you need quite a few of these rock elements to do it. And then there's, I think 5 offers this larger peak that you can help manipulate. One of the things about this well light point system is that, or lighting in general in PoE2, is that if you obfuscate it, like you put an object between the camera and the light point, it will technically break that light, and it will not produce the amount that you may desire. Like, see, it's clipping into the light source. It's still producing light, but not to the full gradient. This can be manipulated, of course, by degrees. But it's just something to be aware of, and you can completely abuse this, of course. So just another way to handle that. Lastly, some other marble sections here. This I discovered recently was that the lights themselves take into account other light sources for the light that they produce. So we have a single pot here, and it's reflecting off this marble statue here, this pillar. If we add another light source, it cuts it in half. Okay. If we bring in another source, you'll see them slowly get brighter. If I bring in a single light source, it'll slowly degrade the singular pot. So you can control aspects of this even off screen. I can't see the other pot. It's lighting, it's giving me ambient on the ground back there, but it also reduces this. So you can play with this in different ways. You can even put it inside to a certain degree, and it won't, like, you can even see a little line there where it begins like inter-refracting, I want to say. That's a stupid way to put it, but it's playing off this surface within the game to increase the light source by overriding it. Like, it's still allowing the light to come through, but the way this system was set up is that they should interact naturally within the field if there's no object interfering with them. You'll see this more in depth if you happen to create an area with a lot of lights and you start attempting to obfuscate them or bury them within other objects. You'll begin to see lights turning off. It literally breaks the lighting system if you have too many within objects within in the field that you're attempting to create. This doesn't happen if you do not obfuscate any of them. They will all behave normally. But the second you obfuscate one of them or bury them in an object, it will break the lighting system, and it will require you to then limit your light sources in total across the entire hideout. And I'll show you this later with my Wellspring hideout. But for now, like, you can simply manipulate a single light source with another in order to create a softer environment. This also works with, like I said, putting objects between the camera and the light source. Here we have the map device that everybody gets. This is the ziggurat map device. If you bury it in you surround it in trees. Get that right. You create a space where you'll get certain lighting failing to work. I put that in correctly. There we go. And you'll get shadows casting through the tree branches and whatnot. Let's see a better example. I moved it. I screwed it up. There we go. That's a little bit better. And it will break at certain aspects. I won't mess with it too much here. But you can, another thing you can do is just the same way is you suddenly, this light source is not producing light in this area, but it is enabling this light source to break through. See that get stronger? And there's a certain point where it begins to break this light source's environment or projection. This also matters where the character is because the character produces light as well. So when you're creating your environment, you may want to take into consideration your light, the character's lighting impact on that environment, as you're always producing this light source, which is somewhere around this area on your character, and it's reflecting off other surfaces. You'll also see it in your globes via your mouse pointer. See how that refracts? It doesn't always have an impact on, but the environment will have an impact on your lighting sources. You see there. So just some things to think about. And I'll show you my Wellspring hideout. Now here's the Wellspring. It's behaving like I'm missing resources. Turn that off. And within this structure that I've built here below with larger rocks, I've placed certain fire pots here, there, and everywhere. And these are specifically set so as not to disappear via the occlusion plane when you're on the second floor. And they're also reduced in count. I had way more here during the initial build, but I discovered the bug with the lighting sources. So as we're up here, retard that light. We'll turn that off for now. But as you can see, I have different lighting sources within rock formations up here as well. So we're just going to add one. I think it's only one I need to do this. And it may take a second. But one of the aspects that occur is that as you move around, you'll begin to see lights begin to turn off and on. It may take a second for me to break this here. But it will eventually occur over time. It might be, they may have fixed it with the shader fix that they recently just implemented. I have not tested that specifically, but they may have fixed it. Hopefully that's the case, which may explain why I'm not seeing the behavior at the moment and totally ruining this video. But it is an aspect that you should still concern yourself with when building these hideouts. Maybe the bug fix increased the limit or something, but it's something to take into account. I can't seem to reproduce it. It appears they fixed it. I don't know. I will continue testing. Anyway, for now, I'll stop wasting your time. Thank you for checking out the video. I hope some of these things help you. You can see down there, actually, that light source turns off and on, right? You do it. Come on, turn on. I saw one that turned off. Anyway, yeah, there it goes. There it is. There's the light source. So even within the manor with 2 separate floors, you are actually producing all the fire pots, the light sources on both floors. And it is turning one off and on down there. Maybe because of the range, the occlusion range of my character. But it still affects the overall look of this hideout. So these extra fire pots will have to be removed down to whatever limit that I'm allowed at this point, in order to remove that flickering element and keep a sustained image. So I was successful there. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope these helped. Have a good night. Stay safe, Exile.